गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे So we are in verse 3 of the glory of Siddhas, chapter 18 of Sri Ramana Gita. Akhila Sanshaya Varana Bhashanam Akhila Sanshaya Varana Bhashanam Brahmamadadviradangkusha Vikshanam Brahmamadadviradangkusha Vikshanam Aviratam Parasaukhya Dhutodhyamam Aviratam Parasaukhya Dhutodhyamam Nijatanu Vishayeshwala Salasam Nijatanu Vishayeshwala Salasam Akhila Sanshaya Varana Bhashanam Brahmamadadviradangkusha Vikshanam Aviratam Parasaukhya Dhutodhyamam Nijatanu Vishayeshwala Salasam. His words dispel all doubts, his glance like an ankusha being under control, the mad elephant of the deluded mind. He is ever active for the happiness of others and utterly indifferent to his body's needs. His words dispel the innumerable doubts. Many people, if you read the question answers and the Annamalai's biography, if you read, Annamalai was a great devotee of Ramana Maharshi who was instrumental in doing all the construction in the Tiruvannamalai ashram. When the kitchen was not there, he built the kitchen. The kutia where he is staying, he built the kutia under instructions of. But no, he is not an engineer, nothing. But he did all that solid. The buildings are still standing today. From their experience also, and if you read the question answers, many of in that also we see that when you, and even today if you go to Tiruvannamalai, if you go to Ramana Ashram, you go into the place where his samadhi is, or if you go into the room where his bed is, where he used to abide, his body may have gone, but Ramana Maharshi, who is one with the infinite self, he is still there. Because the moment you enter into that room behind the Samadhi Mandir, or you go around in the Samadhi place, your mind becomes quiet. Sometimes you discover what your purpose of life is. Sometimes, depends what the question is. If something is an obstacle in your sadhana, you discover what the obstacle is, where you are going wrong. All you have to do is be there. See, and that's what here it is. He is saying that the words can be two ways: unspoken word or spoken word. Understand? There are two types of word. Word doesn't mean only when you are speaking. Spoken word or unspoken word. Ramana Maharshi most of the time practiced unspoken word, and yet the seekers who used to come and sit in his presence, all their ignorance was taken or completely rooted out of their system just by being there. Yes, that is all true, that you can only you can only realize yourself, all true. But when you are in that presence, in his presence or in his energy, it makes a big impact. And here what he is saying is, his words dispel the innumerable doubts of those who have taken refuge in him. And same story is true when we talk about any other Mahatma or we talk about God also. Because that God is your inner voice. That Ramana Maharshi, for him who has taken the refuge in that Mahatma, then that Mahatma speaks to him from inside. See? He looks like a gourd which brings under control the mad elephant. What is the mad elephant? Our mind. What is happening? It is in rut. It is continuously lusting after this object, that person, this experience, this country, this trip. Let's go to Uluru, let's go to India. When is the next trip plan? Give us the date. We want to organize our holidays. लगे हुए हैं. This desire only. This desire. This is the mad elephant. It's not happy to be silent. कुछ ना कुछ उसको खुजली चाहिए. And it is, we are doing something holy. क्या करें? तीर्थ यात्रा. अब तीर्थ यात्रा कब करेंगे पता नहीं. उसके लिए अभी से परेशान हो रहे हैं. जब होगी तब होगी. फिर स्मार्ट. समझ, just planting the seed. परेशान आप हो ना, हमने तो सीड प्लांट कर दिया. है नहीं. So and there is one exercise which I used to do long time ago with some master. He is Jewish. He's still alive. He's not gone. Yoa, he's a Jew, psychologist, but for last 30 years तो मैं ही जानता हूँ, 35 years, 40 years, he doesn't work. He only does these meditation seminars in Adelaide Hills. And many years ago he came when my grandfather was there. He came to our house. He had a introduction what he does and what they do in that. And I have attended, I have assisted also, and I have practiced also. And what you do, you look into the other person. Two people sit opposite each other. You look into each other's eyes without judgment, without biasness, without any idea about that person. You are 100% available to the person sitting in front of you. 100%. It will come slowly. It doesn't happen straight away. For very rare few, it might happen. And then you ask, tell me who you are. I am sitting opposite this fellow. You are not touching each other. Tell me who you are. And you have to, without preconceived idea, without going to the preformed notions, at that very moment being truthful to what is coming in your mind, you have to utter. Without any flowery words around it. Whatever is coming in your mind, you have to present it to the person who's sitting in front of you. When you have said your bit, then you ask the question. Now he will ask the question to me. Tell me who you are. Your question should be equally focused, single pointed, meaningful, and you are genuinely asking. Not because, now tell me who you are. You will get the answer also like that only. But you have to ask. Your words will determine what is your intention, how genuinely you are wanting to know. If it is overacted, tell me who you are. So when someone comes from the heart and genuinely wants to know, you will come to know that. And slowly, the questioner also aligns himself and the answer given. You are both the questioner also at one time, and another time you are the answerer. So slowly you find the right balance and you come to catch. You learn to observe your thoughts, and you are contemplating at the same time, and you want to be genuinely answering, not making a story out of your memory. It may be a memory, but you are true to what is coming to your mind at that moment, and you blurt it out. Not to convince that other person. He is only a trigger who is asking the question. You are emptying yourself. After that 2, 3, 4 minutes or 30 seconds, whatever if you don't have anything more to say, you just sit quietly. If you want to say something, you will. So he usually puts a gong. Went down, okay, change. It's all military drill. So then then again I'll ask him the question, and this way it goes on for half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, and
Ask
so
the same question again.
same question, and because question is only one: who am I? So that is being asked by this person sitting in front. Tell me who you are. So first, when you're in your first session, I came from Melbourne to Adelaide. Man, the traffic was so much. Anyway, now I am here. I am the one who has come to this retreat. Ting, whoever, you couldn't do anything else. That's what came to you. But by the time 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th session comes, your turn comes in a day, say 45 minutes, 45 minutes, कितनी बार आ जाएगा? अगली बार, oh, I am the body. I am feeling the pain. This is who I am at this moment. You have to be true where your mind is. You don't imagine you are the self. You be true to who you are at that moment. And again and again and again and dhire, 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 you dive. Your identity becomes so crystal clear that all these things are ephemeral. Everything that I was talking about myself was only imagination. It is not real me. I am the one who is watching all this. It comes after some time. करो मियाँ बीवी घर में बैठ के टेल मी हु यू आर तब 30 साल हो गए After 30 years of living together, you are asking me who are you? Tell me who you are. I wasted my time or what? But that is very, very, so that is called, in that moment of that interaction, I have seen people having, suddenly they transcend everything. They are not permanently there. I have not come anyone who is permanently there. But many sessions I have seen, suddenly the mind flips. It goes in, many times I have seen people going into ecstasy. Many times I have seen people totally dropping all pretenses and coming to, and their language changes, completely language changes. They see everything, and they see themselves as they are. So that is when you look at yourself. So you if you are not married, take a mirror, look into your eyes, tell me who you are. Only reflecting, not answering. No. Or I have big photograph of Raman Maharishi like this. I didn't bring it. It's there somewhere. I don't know where I kept it. So once, many years ago, I used to take that, look into Raman Maharishi's eyes and do that. Or I got only the eyes of Chinmayananda. Only this part, without glasses. Piercing. Look into that. They are intense. Raman Maharishi's eyes are intense. And that's what Ganpati Muni is saying here, that sitting in the presence of Raman Maharishi, his gaze was so intense that it will make you drop all pretenses. And you are observing, you cannot hold on to anything. See, I spent, whenever Hanumanji used to come or will come, I spend at least a month traveling with him. For what? बोलने के लिए मैं, for speaking sake, I used to say, सेवा करूँगा. I iron his clothes and organize the tour and everything. But more important than that, I am continuously alert from what space is he functioning. What is that space? He is in the same mode. Walking, speaking, talking, eating, waking, giving lecture. He is always in that. There is a neutral line somewhere within when he is functioning. It's always the same. It might go a little bit up there, little bit down, but you know that line is there. That abidance is there. That conscious space is where from he is functioning. Are we there? And this happens in the present, and sometimes it clicks. Just being in his presence, it happens. As I am telling you, those who have gone to Ramana Ashram, you go there, you go to Skanda Ashram or Virupaksha cave, it happens. You don't even have, there's nobody there. But your mind settles down and you become available to yourself if you are courageous. लंगोटी पकड़ के वापस भागोगे नीचे, because it's scary also. So many people could not handle the silence of Ramana Maharishi when he was there. Many people could not handle the talk of Nisargadatta Maharaj when he used to talk so straightforwardly with regards to the truth. Many people cannot handle satsang. So they want to escape. Why? It's easy. Escaping is easy. This has happened to us also once upon a time. But you keep applying because you know that it will lead to the dissolution of the mind. Therefore we must continue. Not because we want to escape you. No. So when we go into these various samadhis, Jnaneshwar Maharaj, Ramana Maharishi, Gondavlikar Maharaj, Samartha Ramdas, Papa Ramdas, all these places you go, the feeling is exactly the same. When you are in presence of a living master, what does it show us? That this disposition is beyond living or not living. It is pervasive. It's not place specific. It is everywhere. And here he says, just as a goad makes the mad elephant come into control, similarly, the gaze of the realized master, Ramana Maharishi, used to make the mind of the seekers come into control. If it is fluttering away, if it is thinking this way, that way, immediately it comes. Once I was with Darga Swami, you met Darga Swami, 98 ki baat hai, in 98. I went to him, we were 5-6 students from the ashram, we were on the India tour, they had joined me in that part, so we had gone from Andhra Pradesh, from Tirupati we had gone to him. And he fed us and everything, and afterwards we were just sitting around and he was inside and he came out and sat on the steps. If you see where the samadhi is, those steps, there's a door there. In the steps he is sitting and we are sitting in a semicircle here. And in that semicircle, I am right in front of the steps. Somehow it happened, I happened to be there at that. He came, he sat down, he looked at everything, some people were asking some questions, he was answering, and then suddenly his eyes, I was only looking at him intently. कि कहाँ से कैसे ये ऐसे आंसर करता है? He has not studied any scriptures, he has not gone to any ashram, and we were just full of, we have studied Vedanta. Hey, how come he is answering all this? So I was in awe, but at the same time, I was with my eyes and mind, I was piercing deep into him. So for that, I was pratak, like I was focused on him without blinking, I was looking at him. And suddenly after a few interactions, his eyes came, just like in pendulum, it was going from here, these people to these people to these people, idhar attack gaya. And the moment it locked with my eyes, how 10 minutes went, I don't know. But in those 10 minutes, this bent spine became completely straight. I must have gained height in that 10 minutes. इतना खींच लिया. I was as if, tears were rolling down, mind was getting destroyed at such a pace. Meaning the thoughts, I can't do anything, only the gaze. I can only compare to my personal experience with what is being told here. That the gaze of Raman Maharishi acts like a goad to the mad elephant. Goad is with which the Mahut is the controller of the elephant. With that small goad, it's only about that big. With that spear-shaped small arrow, he prods it on this point of the elephant, and the elephant behaves. Any mad elephant will behave when he gets that, when it's poked with that goad. Raman Maharishi's eyesight acted as a goad to control the mad elephant of the seeker's mind. This is what is told here. And therefore, we must seek, we must come into contact with, seek out. You don't know who is who, but seek out and be in the presence of great masters. Be in the presence of Mahatmas. Be in the presence of those where they are, where their samadhis are. He is forever active for the welfare of others, but utterly indifferent to his body needs. He is looking not because he wants to improve you. That is his nature. He is looking at it. When you are looking at yourself, that disposition has to be very intense. It cannot be with too many doubts and suspicions and distractions and agitations and irritations. Your attention on yourself is absolutely error-free. And when you have realized you are all that there is, can you look at anything with that error? No. The moment error enters, you will see differences. Whenever error enters, or duality enters, otherness enters, you will see differences. But his disposition, all is the self alone, without a thought. So that intensity is not that it is waxing and waning, it is continuous. That's what I see in Swamiji also. That's what I see in Dargah Swami also. That's what I see in Ammachi also. It's intense. You cannot be lazy in front of her. You cannot be thinking something and think that she knows every damn thing if you think in front of her. She'll tell you. Try, experiment it next time when she comes. But do it so intensely that she catches you. Then she will not give you any attention. Because thousands are coming and thousands are going. Many are thinking good, many are thinking bad. You do it intensely, she will catch you. Suddenly, her attention will go on you. And she looks, this happened before I went to ashram. She had come to Melbourne, and that time she used to give darshan in Pran. And I was sitting there. He said, go sit down there, behind her. So I sat there. But from back, you are only able to see her head. I wanted to see her face. I want to see how she is hugging, how she is smiling, what is the space where she is working from. Even those days, my thought was only that. So where the ramp comes down, I was sitting on the corner of the ramp and full meditation, erect and tratak. Again, I have done the practice, so I was looking at her and and suddenly in between, while she is hugging someone, she looked at me. And with the eyes she said, come. She didn't say anything. I got up, I came. say? I said, I'm going to ashram. As if she didn't know. I said, I'm going to ashram, give me your ashirwad. She said, don't be a crow. That's all she said. Don't be a crow means crow eats something, throws away rest. It doesn't eat anything completely. Don't be a crow when you are studying scriptures. Dive deep into whatever you are studying. See? Another meaning of crow is thoda sa kha liya, I think that habit is still there. I'm still crowing without digesting. It takes so many years to realize what Master says. So how stupid we are. So in this manner, so whom does this vision, this gaze helps? To those who are available. If I was, so many people are there, why did she only call me? So all of us were there. Why that Dargah Swami only looked at me? He could have looked at anyone. Because you are available. Because you are available. Sometimes you feel, even when we are giving lecture, sometimes we keep speaking to, many times I find myself, I am speaking to only one person. Without looking at, आज तो सब जगह जा रहा है, सब available है. But all are available, so my vision, attention is going everywhere. But sometimes it happens that it goes and gets stuck to someone. And for 5-10 minutes you keep speaking to that person and then it moves away somewhere else. They are thinking, they are contemplating, they are available. So it's just like cathode and anode getting connected. Consciousness getting connected to consciousness. That is availability of a student. Their word knowledge doesn't work. There is straight download. Words are only the means. So when he says, to those who have taken refuge in Ramana, his gaze acted like a goad. They immediately corrected themselves. Immediately they harnessed their wandering mind when his gaze fell on them. Just like a boss comes into his office, the entire staff immediately behaves themselves the moment they hear the car arriving. That is like a goad. You hear the sound, everyone behaves. The moment gaze of the master comes, the mind behaves. The expression others is from the standpoint of onlookers. For Ramana, all are the self, there were no others. Ramana's utter indifference to the body is evidenced by his insistence on sharing and sharing alike. Though his body had been ravaged by his total neglect of it in the first few years after the arrival at Arunachala, he would not permit any preferential treatment. If you remember the story, Ganpati Muni, when he found Ramana Maharishi in the Skanda Ashram, what was Ramana Maharishi doing? The right thigh was completely sore and the maggots were there. And those maggots were so many, multiplied in number, they were falling down. He was lifting the maggots and putting them into his wound. He was so disidentified with the body. You can't imagine also, no? But in the ancient times, maggots used to disinfect. They eat away all the dead and the dirty skin and fungus and pus and everything they used to, and that was a actual treatment. But here he is doing it to himself. And that's how Ganpati Muni found him. And I think that's remaining, and also that there is no, even though he had many problems in the body, but he never caters to his problems, he never voices out his problems, he never seeks attention because of those problems. Whatever, everything is alright, everything, what everyone is doing, I am also doing. Everyone is eating, no special food for me. What everyone is eating, I will eat. Even today, whether it is the ashram, whether it is a king, whether it is a man from the roadside, the food is same. More water, less dal. Little bit, and rice as much as you want. Very, very tasty food, very bland. Bland means very thin dal, but very tasty. Probably tasty because we have reverence for that ashram. If the same dal you get somewhere else, you might not appreciate it. But there, oh, tasty, very nice, very nice. And it's always spicy. So you are sweating from top to bottom, you are sweating by the time you have finished your meal. Right? Curd rice also. Okay. So Ramana Maharshi also had cancer, but he never complained. He never wanted to see the doctor. If anyone said, let's go to the doctor, let's do this. If he at all goes, it is on the insistence of the devotee. But himself, he doesn't want to do anything. And when once told, Swamiji, the cancer is getting bad and is it not hurting you? He answered, I am cancer. Because nothing is out of consciousness, outside consciousness. Everything is he alone. Who can make this statement? See? This is an unwritten rule for all Mahatmas. You take him, you take Ramakrishna Paramahansa, you take who is the Ram Sukdas ji of Gita Bhavan from Haridwar. He also had throat cancer. But he kept giving satsang every day on the banks of the Ganga. While giving satsang, he left his body. You take our Paramahamsa Yogananda, he was giving satsang in the Indian Embassy in Washington. And while giving lecture, he says, my time has come. I'm going, bye, pop, gone. Can you say? पता नहीं कब मरेंगे हम. I don't know when we will die. My God, I'm getting old. I hope I go by a heart attack. That will be quick. No, maybe brain stroke is better. I won't even know. Maybe I die in sleep. Or let the death be not painful. We are thinking like this. These Mahatmas, they are ready. They are prepared. Have we prepared? In spite of everything, we are still busy. Pain here, pain there, pain everywhere. It requires courage. It requires courage to go beyond the norm. Our norm is body. Our norm is disease. For body, the moment norm is body, whatever the expressions of body, what is the expression of body? Birth, growth, disease, decay, death. This is the journey that the body is going to go through. If you consider yourself to body, this will be the problem. As a child, you want to grow. When you grow, you want to be a child. See? Verse 4. Parinatamrafalaprabhavigraham Parinatamrafalaprabhavigraham Chalatarendriya nigraha sagraham Amruta chiddhanavalli parigraham Mitavachorachitagama sangraham Matavichorachitagama sangraham. Together, Parinatamrafalaprabhavigraham Chalatarendriya nigraha sagraham Amruta chiddhanavalli parigraham Mitavachorachitagama sangraham. His body glows like a ripe mango, absolute master of the fickle senses. He is wedded to the immortal Valli, who is pure awareness. In a few words, he conveys the substance of all scriptures, not unlike us. Speak, oh speak, oh speak, oh speak, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, forget the time, हो गया देखो time. देखो, time हो गया, oh you keep going, trying to convey one simple message, one simple thought that has been presented, that we are trying to convey in so many words. That is called Vyasa Paddhati. That is also one way. Vyasji Maharaj did that. But Ramana Maharshi, minimum words, maximum effect. When a master speaks, he speaks one word, but every person who is listening feels that particular word uttered by him was especially meant for him. This is the impact of the great masters. Word can be as a simple word as it may be, but everyone feels at one with the word that they have heard. It is not because of the word, it is because of the space from which that word has been uttered. See? Or not uttered. Ramana Maharshi used to be silent, but everyone used to feel one. So, we'll just leave it here for the moment and continue from verse 4 onwards tomorrow. Om Purnamada